There is a moment, quiet, almost imperceptible, when a woman greets you before any intimacy has ever happened. It's a moment where possibility and uncertainty dance together, creating an atmosphere thick with meaning. In this space, she is neither revealing too much nor hiding everything. She is communicating in the subtle poetry of body language, tone, and presence. And if you pay attention, you will feel that her greeting is not simply hello, it is a negotiation between what feels safe and what feels intriguing. The subtle language of first impressions carries an entire emotional ecosystem within it, especially when a woman greets you before any intimacy has unfolded. In this brief encounter, she is expressing more than politeness or routine social behavior. She is revealing a delicate balance of what she is open to, what she is curious about, and what she is still guarding. Her greeting becomes an encoded message shaped by experiences she may not consciously articulate but that her body communicates effortlessly. A slight softening of her eyes can hint at interest she is not yet ready to verbalize, while a firmer posture may reflect the boundaries she is still assessing. These details are not accidental, they stem from instinct, history, and the psychological mechanics of human attraction. When she first sees you, her mind rapidly evaluates emotional safety, social context, and the possibilities of connection, and her body responds with micro-expressions that reveal her internal landscape. What makes this moment so profound is that she is not simply responding to you as an individual, she is responding to what you represent in that precise instant. You are the unknown, and the unknown can be exciting, intimidating, or energizing. Her greeting can be a reflection of her desire to explore you further, even as she maintains enough emotional space to protect herself. She may lean ever so slightly forward, indicating openness, while her arms remain relaxed rather than crossed, showing she is not closing herself off. Or she might smile with a gentle restraint, expressing warmth while still keeping a layer of thoughtful distance. None of these gestures definitively indicate that she wants or does not want something deeper. Rather, they illuminate the tension between vulnerability and composure that often accompanies the early stages of attraction. This moment is also shaped by her past, how she has been greeted, misread, or misunderstood before. A woman who has learned to be cautious may appear more neutral, not because she lacks interest, but because neutrality gives her the stability to observe without being exposed. Another woman might greet you with effortless brightness, not as performative enthusiasm but as a sign that she feels comfortable trusting her intuition. Human attraction rarely announces itself boldly at the beginning. More often, it whispers through these nuanced gestures that form the emotional architecture of her first impression. To truly understand her greeting is to recognize that she is offering a glimpse into her inner world, inviting you to respond not with assumptions or pressure, but with presence, curiosity, and emotional sensitivity. Attraction often lives in contradiction because human desire is not linear or predictable. It moves in pulses, in pushes and pulls, in moments where curiosity and caution coexist. When a woman greets you before any intimacy has taken place, this duality becomes especially visible. She may feel drawn to you, yet still hold herself back. She may want to step closer, but something in her instinct, experience, self-protection asks her to slow down. This creates a greeting that is layered, textured, and rich with meaning. Her body might lean in while her eyes briefly look away, revealing the dance between wanting to be seen and fearing being seen too quickly. These contradictions are not signs of confusion or indecision, they are the natural expressions of someone experiencing attraction while navigating the emotional boundary of early encounters. Attraction is rarely an immediate yes or no. It often begins as a question, a curiosity, a quiet spark that she is still trying to understand within herself. In this early stage, a woman may appear reserved not because she lacks interest, but because she is calibrating the pace. She wants to feel the connection unfold rather than rush into it. This is why you might notice her greeting you with warm eyes paired with a slightly measured tone, or a relaxed smile with a cautious posture. She is allowing the possibility of connection, but she is also giving herself the space to breathe, to assess, and to stay aligned with her own emotional rhythm. Attraction in its early phase demands both openness and restraint, and her greeting reflects this natural interplay. These contradictions are also rooted in a deeper psychological truth: desire thrives in tension. It grows in the space between what is known and what is imagined. A woman may be intrigued by the energy you bring, the way you hold yourself, the way you look at her, yet she may not be ready to reveal her full interest. This is not manipulation or uncertainty, it is the way desire builds momentum. She allows you to sense a glimpse of warmth without unveiling the entire emotional landscape at once. This creates a dynamic where the greeting carries both invitation and boundary, both curiosity and self-possession. What you witness in these subtle contradictions is her attempt to maintain agency in the early stages of connection. She wants to feel drawn, but not carried away. She wants to experience intrigue without surrendering control. She wants to explore what might be possible but on terms that honor her emotional integrity. These layered signals don't diminish attraction, they enrich it, giving it depth, complexity, and authenticity that make the unfolding connection feel real rather than rushed. Greetings are rarely just greetings. They are emotional openings shaped by past experiences, unspoken boundaries, and the subtle ways we try to understand one another before anything deeper unfolds. When a woman greets you in the early stages, before intimacy, before clarity, before any labels, her words may be simple, but her emotional expression is layered. She might say hello with a tone that seems casual, yet the slight shift in her voice reveals a curiosity she has not yet allowed herself to explore fully. She might offer a brief smile that carries a softness hinting at interest, even as her posture maintains a quiet reserve. What she communicates in that moment is less about language and more about emotional choreography, a delicate balance between revealing and protecting. Her greeting is often influenced by her internal narrative, one shaped by the experiences that have taught her when to open and when to be cautious. If she has felt misunderstood in the past, her greeting may carry an air of emotional prudence. She gives warmth, but with edges smoothed by caution. If she has been deeply valued before, she may greet you with a presence that feels confident and open, her energy unburdened by fear of misinterpretation. Every small gesture in this moment holds traces of her history, how she loves, how she trusts, and how she guards her heart. These influences create a greeting that may appear simple on the surface but is textured with intention beneath it. There is something profound in how she positions herself emotionally in these early interactions. Her greeting is a test of atmosphere. She is sensing whether this space feels safe, whether she feels seen, whether she can be herself without being rushed. She is attuned to the energy you bring into the moment, your calmness or impatience, your confidence or pressure, your presence or distraction. Her greeting is her way of meeting that energy with just enough openness to explore what might be possible, while still maintaining enough distance to feel grounded. It is not an act of hesitation but an act of emotional intelligence, allowing connection to build with authenticity rather than urgency. This emotional opening is also a way for her to communicate her boundaries without explicitly stating them. A softer, slower greeting may signal a desire for connection paired with a need for emotional pacing. A bright, animated greeting might show her natural ease, her willingness to embrace the moment without overthinking it. In either case, she is setting the tone for how she wants the interaction to unfold. She is saying, through her presence rather than her words, that she wants to understand who you are before she reveals more of herself. In this way, her greeting becomes a doorway into her emotional world, inviting you to approach with awareness, patience, and genuine curiosity. A woman's behavior before intimacy often reflects her need for safety, clarity, and emotional resonance, and understanding this transforms the way you interpret her greeting. When she first encounters you, she is not merely deciding whether she is attracted, she is assessing whether she can feel grounded in your presence. Safety for her is not just physical, it is emotional, psychological, and energetic. If she senses steadiness in you, her greeting may soften effortlessly. If she feels uncertainty or mixed signals, her greeting may become more reserved, not as a rejection but as a way of maintaining her own equilibrium. This early moment is her subtle way of asking, without words, whether she can trust the space between you to be free of pressure and full of respect. Clarity is another essential piece of her internal equation. Before intimacy, she is attuned to the cues that tell her who you are and what you bring into the interaction. If your presence conveys honesty and consistency, she may show more openness in her tone or body language. If your energy feels rushed, expectant, or performative, she may instinctively take a step back, even if she finds you intriguing. Her greeting becomes a form of emotional calibration. She is aligning herself with what feels emotionally coherent to her. Every smile, every pause, every shift in her posture is part of this process. She wants to feel that your interest is genuine and that your intentions carry clarity rather than ambiguity. Emotional resonance plays an equally significant role. Women often connect not only through what is said but through how it feels. In the early stages, before anything intimate has occurred, she is sensitive to the emotional atmosphere you create. If she feels that you are present, attentive, and attuned, her greeting may carry a warmth that reflects her comfort with you. If she senses emotional distance or detachment, she might greet you politely but keep her emotional energy guarded. This is not a reflection of her lack of attraction, it is a reflection of her desire to connect in a way that feels emotionally meaningful. She wants the exchange to have substance, not just surface-level charm. The way she greets you is also influenced by her internal need to stay connected to herself. Before intimacy, she is protecting not only her body but her emotional integrity. She may greet you with kindness while still holding a subtle boundary, ensuring she does not lose herself in the moment too quickly. This balance allows her to stay present while honoring her own pace, greeting you with a blend of openness and self-respect that creates the foundation for a connection built on something deeper than impulse. Understanding the psychology behind her greeting is not about decoding hidden agendas but about recognizing the emotional architecture that shapes how connection unfolds. When a woman has not yet shared intimacy with you, she is often more attuned to the nuances of how you make her feel in those first seconds than to anything you actually say. Her greeting becomes a reflection of whether she experiences you as someone who respects her pace, someone who can listen without assumption, and someone who approaches her with genuine curiosity rather than expectation. When you understand the deeper psychology behind this moment, you begin to relate to her not through pressure or performance but through presence, which is what fosters real connection. Many men misinterpret early interactions, assuming her reservedness is disinterest or her warmth is an invitation. But the truth is more subtle. Her greeting is a window into her emotional state, a glimpse of how she protects her vulnerability while exploring her attraction. She may greet you with a quiet softness, not because she is shy, but because she is feeling the space between you, assessing the emotional tone you bring. She may greet you with enthusiastic energy, not necessarily because she is ready for intimacy, but because she feels comfortable enough to show up as herself. When you understand this, you stop reading her greeting as a yes or no and start seeing it as a moment of emotional communication that deserves attention and respect. What fosters genuine connection is your willingness to meet her where she is, not where you wish she would be. When she senses that you are attuned to her comfort, her boundaries, and her emotional rhythm, something shifts in the interaction. Her guard softens, her presence becomes more natural, and her greeting evolves from politeness into authenticity. She feels that she does not need to perform or protect herself against misunderstanding, and that subtle shift creates the conditions for trust. Connection deepens not because you chase it but because she feels safe enough to lean toward it. A man who understands this psychology engages differently. He listens with his eyes as much as his ears. He notices the tone beneath her words, the energy behind her smile, the meaning inside her pauses. He recognizes that her greeting is not a test to pass but an opening to honor. When he responds with groundedness rather than urgency, she feels seen rather than analyzed. And in that feeling, being seen without pressure, she begins to open in ways that intimacy later depends on. Her greeting becomes the first quiet step toward something more meaningful because he has created the emotional conditions where connection can unfold naturally and at her pace.